Welcome to Mr. Chin Additional Mathematics class. Today we are going to learn about unit vectors in Form 4 Additional Mathematics. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to determine unit vector in given direction. What is unit vector? Look at the following diagram. This diagram shows 4 toy vehicles moving in a plane. The velocity of car A, car B, car C, and truck D are represented by vector V, vector U, vector W, and vector R respectively. Compare the velocity of the 4 vehicles. Which of the vehicles move with 1 meter per second? In other words, which vectors have a magnitude of 1? Yes, magnitude of vector V and magnitude of vector W are 1 unit. Therefore, vector U and vector W are unit vectors. Vector V and vector R are not unit vector because their magnitude are not equal to 1 unit. So what is unit vector? Unit vector is a vector with magnitude of 1 unit. Let's compare the direction of unit vector U and unit vector W with the direction of vector V. Which unit vectors is in the same direction as vector V? Yes, vector U has the same direction with vector V. We said that vector U is a unit vector in the direction of vector V. Unit vector in the direction of vector V can be represented by this symbol. You draw a symbol for vector V, then you add a hat above the symbol. Now this is the symbol for unit vector in the direction of vector V. What is the meaning of this symbol? This symbol represents unit vector in the direction of vector A. Can you tell me the meaning of this symbol? Yes, this is a unit vector in the direction of vector R. Which of the following statement is true? A or B? Yes. Statement A is true. Vector U is a unit vector in the direction of vector V. Statement B is false, although magnitude of vector W is 1 unit, but vector W is not in the direction of vector V. So this statement is false. Next, let us learn how to find unit vector in the direction of vector V. The following diagram shows a vector V with magnitude 3 unit. To draw a unit vector in the direction of vector V, first I have to know the magnitude of vector V. Okay, because the magnitude of vector V is 3 unit, I divide this directed line segment into 3 equal parts. Then I draw a line segment parallel with vector v and in the same direction. And the length of this directed line segment is 1/3 of length of vector v. Now I have just drawn the unit vector in the direction of vector v. What is the relationship between unit vector in the direction of vector v with vector v? Because these are two parallel vectors, we can express unit vector in the direction of vector v as k multiply vector v, where k is a scalar. Can you determine the value of k? To determine the value of k, compare the magnitude of vector v and unit vector. We know that magnitude of vector v is 3 units and magnitude of vector unit is 1 unit. So magnitude of vector v is 3 times magnitude of vector unit v in direction of v. Therefore, magnitude of unit vector in the direction of vector v is 1/3 of magnitude of vector v. Therefore, the value of k is 1/3. Or I can write it as vector v divided by 3. 3 is the magnitude of vector v. In conclusion, any unit vector in the direction of a vector can be found by dividing vector with the magnitude of the vector. That is, given a vector r, the unit vector in the direction of vector r is equal to vector r divided by magnitude of vector r. Now we have learned that any vector that are drawn in Cartesian plane can be expressed in the form of xi plus yj, where I and j are unit vector. For example, vector OA can be expressed as phi I plus phi j. Now, vector OA can be expressed as 3i plus 6j. This is a free vector. You can also express this free vector as 3i plus 6j. Next, we are going to learn how to determine unit vector in the direction of vector v, when vector v is expressed in terms of vector I and vector j. Now look at the following vectors. Vector AB. Compare vector AB with vector CD. What can you say about direction of vector CD compared to vector AB? Yes, they are always in the same direction. What is the magnitude of vector CD? Magnitude of vector CD is always equal to 1 unit. So vector CD is a unit vector in the direction of vector AB. Can you find unit vector CD in terms of vector I and vector J? Let's look at one example. Now, vector AB can be expressed as 4i plus 3j. To determine the unit vector in the direction of vector A, B, first you can determine the magnitude of vector AB. Let's say vector AB is represented by V. Magnitude of vector AB is equal to square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared is equal to 5. The unit vector in the direction of vector V can be determined by dividing vector V by its magnitude. When we simplify it, unit vector in the direction of vector AB is equal to 3 over 5i plus 4 over 5j. Let's look at another example. Can you find the unit vector in the direction of vector AB now? Okay, what is vector AB in terms of vector I and vector J? Is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4i minus 2j. 4i minus 2j. To find the unit vector in the direction of vector AB, first step, you find the magnitude of vector AB is equal to square root of 4 squared plus 2 squared. That is square root of 20. Or you can simplify as square root of 4 multiply 5, that is 2 square root 5. So the unit vector in the direction of vector AB is equal to 4i minus 2j divided by 2 square root 5. Simplify, we have 2 over square root 5 I minus 1 over square root 5 j. You can rationalize it to 2 square root 5 over 5 I minus square root 5 over 5 j. In conclusion, given vector v in terms of vector I and vector j, that is xi plus yj, to find the unit vector in the direction of vector v, follow the following step. Step 1, find the magnitude of the given vector using this formula. Second step, substitute in the formula vector v divided by substitute in the formula vector v divided by magnitude of vector v. Then simplify your answer. Next, let's solve this problem involving unit vector. Given the unit vector in the direction of vector u is pi plus 8j over square root 73. Can you find the possible value of p? Now we know that unit vector in the direction of vector u is equal to vector u divided by magnitude of vector u. From the given vector, vector u is pi plus 8j, and the magnitude of vector u is square root 73. Can you form an equation in terms of p? Yes, square root of p squared plus x squared is equal to square root of 73. So p squared plus 64 equal to 73. P equal to 9. Therefore, the possible value of p is 3 or negative 3. This is the summary of today's lesson. In this lesson, you have learned that a unit vector is a vector with magnitude of 1 unit. Unit vector in the direction of vector in a vector can be found by dividing vector with magnitude of the vector. If the vector is given in this form, we can find the unit vector by using this formula. Okay, I would like you to try these two questions. Find the unit vector in the direction of the following vectors. Your answer should be negative 12 over 13i plus 5 over 13j. And the answer for B is 1 over square root 2i minus 1 over square root 2j. j. Or you can rationalize it to square root 2 over 2i plus minus square root 2 over 2j. After you try the problem, go to the following website to test your understanding about unit vector. This is the end of the lesson. Bye bye.